Hey, Atugo, you're a very wicked woman. Because you don't have a child, that was why you left my own child to hurt herself. Didn't you see her going close to the fire? You are just a witch. I know you are not happy with me because I have a child. If you know what is good for you, better leave this place before I pour this hot soup on you. In the heart of a vibrant Igbo village lived a man called Ikenna. Ikenna was a great farmer, owned a lot of lands and farm crops. He married a very beautiful lady called Adugo. Adugo was known for her kindness and humble nature, but the only problem she had was that she don't have a child, and this made her sad all the time. But despite that, it didn't let it get to her. Despite all the insults she gets from her fellow women, she was still known as the kindest among women. The husband Ikinya wanted to have a son, but he wasn't coming. So he married a second wife, a woman called Ugochi. Ugochi was known for her pride and rudeness in the village. All Ikenna wanted was someone that could bear him a son. He doesn't care about their attitude or character. But Ikenna married Adugo out of love. When Ikenna married Ugochi into the family, she started causing problems in the family, especially to Adugo. She always fights or insults Adugo at every given opportunity. She will always insult her for her childlessness, and this will always make Adugo sad and quiet. Few months later, Ugochi became pregnant. Adugo was genuinely happy for her, but Ugochi will always use her pregnancy to mock Adugo, calling her barren and childless. Months later, Ugochi gave birth to a baby girl. Ikenna was not too happy about it because he needed a son, but he still took care of the baby girl and the mother, Ugochi. Ugochi named her daughter Adanna. She would always pamper her and treat her like a princess. One day, Ugochi was playing with her daughter Adanna. Then Adugo came to carry the baby, but Ugochi stood up and slapped Adugo, pushed her away, and even called her a witch, that she came to kill her daughter because she has no child of her own. Then she warned her never to come close to her daughter again. Adugo painfully left there. She went inside her room and started crying, begging the gods to bless her with her own child. One day, Ugochi was cooking outside the compound. She stood up and left her child so that she can quickly go inside and get something. Her child started crawling towards the fire. Adugo came out and saw the child crawling towards the fire. She hesitated first and thought whether to go carry her out or not, because Ugochi warned her not to go close to her child ever again. But she ignored the warning and went to carry out the child because she is just an innocent child. Before she could get to the child, she has already touched her hand on the cooking pot. The baby screamed immediately. Adugo got there and carried her away. The baby started crying. Ugochi heard her cry and came out and saw Adugo carrying her child. She also saw her hand and knew what happened. She screamed and immediately blamed Adugo for not saving her daughter on time. She said to her, "Hey, Adugo, you're a very wicked woman. Because you don't have a child, that was why you left my own child to hurt herself. Didn't you see her going close to the fire? You are just a witch. I know you are not happy with me because I have a child. If you know what is good for you, better leave this place before I pour this hot soup on you." Adugo tried explaining what happened, but Ugochi didn't want to hear or listen to her. She forcefully carried back her child and pushed her out. Adugo was wondering what wrong she ever did to Ugochi to warrant such harsh treatment from her. But she didn't regret saving the child even though Ugochi didn't appreciate her. But Ugochi's child has already gotten a scar in her hand because of the burn. Ugochi kept blaming Adugo for it, and she kept telling everyone in the village that Adugo wanted to burn her child because she is jealous of her. Adugo for once never replied to any of those allegations. Ikenna never for once tried settling the problems in his family. All he wanted was a male child. A year later, Adugo became pregnant. Ikenna was so happy and prayed for it to be a boy. Adugo was very happy and all she wanted was to have a child, whether boy or girl. Ugochi was so angry and unhappy about it. She would always wish Adugo would die in the pregnancy or the baby would die, so that Ikenna would have no other choice than to will all his wealth to her own child. Few months later, Adugo gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. Ikenna was the happiest man alive. He finally had a son. Adugo thanked the gods for blessing her with two children at the same time. But Ugochi, on the other hand, was so angry and jealous at Adugo for giving birth safely, especially to a boy. She was not also happy that Adugo gave birth to twins for that matter. She hated Adugo and her children and hated how Ikenna gives Adugo special treatment. Some years passed by, but the hate Ugochi had for Adugo and her children was increasing. She even made her own daughter to hate Adugo's children. Adugo named her children Obina and Adeze. She loved them so much. So did Ikenna. Ikenna will always take his son Obina to the farm and will also teach him a lot of manly things. The two siblings loved each other so much. They already knew about the hatred that Ugochi had for their mother and them, so they always stay clear from her troubles. But they are always respectful to her and to other villagers, unlike Ugochi's daughter Adanna, who is lazy and disrespectful to elders all the time. One fateful day, Ugochi was just sitting alone in their compound, thinking of an evil plan for Adugo and her children. Adugo and her husband took their children to their farm to do some work. Ugochi and her child never liked working at the farm, but would always waste their farm crops and products carelessly. As she was thinking, immediately, Obinna came in carrying crops on his head. An evil thought came to her mind, and she called Obinna to come help her do something. Obinna was surprised and shocked at why she was calling him, and he humbly went. Then she said to him, Obinna, please, I need your help. I know I have not been good to you and your mother, but I'm sorry. I will change. Please, I want you to help me get a coconut from a coconut tree at the road leading to the stream. My friend owns the coconut tree. She told me to carry some whenever I want. You know I cannot climb the tree because I'm a woman, but you are the only person I can call to help me. Obinna agreed to her help, and she immediately took Obinna to the tree to cut the coconut for her. What Obinna doesn't know was that it was a trap. The coconut tree wasn't owned by any Ugochi's friend, and the punishment for stealing in that village is to be buried alive, whether by an adult or by a child. Immediately, Obinna climbed the tree to cut the coconut. Ugochi started screaming, "Thief! Thief! Come and see thief that is stealing someone's coconut." Obinna was shocked at what was happening. Immediately, people started gathering around the tree. Obinna climbed down immediately and wanted to explain to them what happened and that it was Ugochi that sent him. But no one cared to listen to him. They started beating him and took him to the village square to bury him alive. Obinna was just crying and pleading, but Ugochi was happy that her plan worked. The news had already gotten to Ikenna and his wife Adugo. about what was happening. They hurriedly went to the village square. When they got there, they saw their son Obinna crying. Ajogo and Ikenna came to him and asked him what happened. He explained everything to them, on how Ugochi asked him to help her cut some coconuts and how she framed him immediately. Adugo and Ikenna tried explaining to the villagers that their child is not a thief, and no one cared to listen. As long as they saw him on the tree, that alone is an evidence. The youth already finished digging the grave and pushed him into the grave. Obinna cried and screamed for the gods to save him. As they were about to cover him up, immediately something strange happened. There was a very heavy, loud lightning and thunder strike, and it immediately hit Ugochi, and she fell down and died. The whole villagers saw what happened and brought Obinna out from the grave immediately. Adugo and Ikenna hugged Obinna with tears. The villagers knew Obinna was innocent and that it was Ugochi that framed him. They took her dead body and threw it inside the same grave that they digged for Obinna and covered her up. And everybody apologized to Obinna and their family and left. Adugo and her family went home happily and thanked the gods for saving them and their son from the hands of the evil one. As for Adanna, Ugochi's daughter, she ran away with a man to another village that same night with her things. Ikenna tried looking for her, but they could not find her. Adugo was ready to take her in as her daughter, but she became useless just like her dead mother. Adugo and Ikenna trained their children with love and care, and they all lived happily in their family. And that's the end of this beautiful story. Morals of the story is that hatred and wickedness can blind us to the truth and lead to a grave consequences, not just for ourselves, but to others as well. And then actions motivated by malice or vengeance often come back to haunt the person, just like how Ugochi faced the consequences for her false accusations. Mob mentality demonstrated by the villagers trying to bury the innocent boy alive can lead to disastrous outcomes fueled by fear and irrationality. The truth will always prevail. The truth has a way of coming to light no matter how you cover it. Just like how Ugochi was killed and how Obinna was vindicated. Let us always be nice and happy to one another, and let love lead. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed and learned something in this story. Please do well to subscribe, comment, follow, like, and share this video. And also put on your notification button for more new videos. Please guys, please support me by subscribing to this channel and liking my videos. Please, I'm begging. And you can also tell me what you learned in this story in the comment section. I love you guys. See you guys next time. Bye.